When struggling law student Elena Rodriguez crashes an elite billionaire's masquerade ball to serve legal papers, she never expected to catch the eye of Dominic Blackstone, the most powerful man in the city. But among 1,000 beautiful, wealthy women vying for his attention, why does this mysterious Alpha King choose her? Subscribe now to discover the dark secret that binds them together and the ancient prophecy that could destroy everything they love. Elena Rodriguez adjusts her cheap black mask one final time before stepping into the opulent ballroom of the Blackstone Tower's penthouse. Crystal chandeliers cast rainbow prisms across marble floors, while Manhattan's elite dance in designer gowns worth more than her student loans. She doesn't belong here, but the legal papers burning in her clutch purse won't serve themselves. Her target, Dominic Blackstone, billionaire real estate mogul and the most elusive man in New York. He's been dodging her law firm's attempts to serve him papers for a class action lawsuit for 3 weeks. Tonight, at his own charity masquerade ball, he can't escape. Elena weaves through the crowd, her simple black dress a stark contrast to the elaborate gowns surrounding her. Everywhere she looks, breathtaking women laugh and pose, their jewelry glittering like stars. Supermodels, heiresses, socialites, all competing for the attention of one man. "Excuse me," a server offers her champagne from a crystal flute. She accepts gratefully, using the moment to scan the room for her quarry. That's when she sees him. Dominic Blackstone stands near the floor-to-ceiling windows, his broad shoulders filling out a perfectly tailored black tuxedo. Even with an elegant silver mask covering half his face, he's unmistakably commanding. Dark hair swept back, strong jawline, and an aura of power that seems to bend the very air around him. Women orbit him like planets around the sun, each vying for his attention with practiced smiles and sultry glances. Elena steels herself and begins moving toward him, but something strange happens. As she gets closer, conversations seem to quiet. Around her, other guests step aside without apparent reason, creating a clear path straight to him. By the time she's 10 feet away, it's as if an invisible force has cleared everyone else from his immediate vicinity. Dominic turns, and their eyes lock across the suddenly empty space. Time stops. His eyes, a startling shade of silver blue that seems to glow in the chandelier light, widen with something like recognition. Elena feels a jolt of electricity shoot through her entire body, her heart racing for reasons she can't explain. The champagne flute slips from her suddenly nerveless fingers, shattering on the marble floor. "You," he breathes, his voice carrying. Despite the distance between them, Elena blinks, trying to shake off the strange spell that seems to have fallen over her. She's here for a job, nothing more. Forcing her professional mask into place, she approaches him with determined steps. "Mr. Blackstone," she says, reaching into her clutch, "I'm Elena Rodriguez from Morrison & Associates. You've been avoiding our calls." His gaze never leaves her face as she extends the legal papers. "Have I?" 3 weeks of dodged calls and cancelled meetings. She keeps her voice steady, despite the way her pulse hammers whenever those strange silver eyes focus on her. "You're being served, sir." Instead of taking the papers, he steps closer, and Elena catches his scent. Pine forests and winter storms, wild and intoxicating. "Dance with me." "I'm sorry, what?" "One dance, then I'll take your papers." His voice carries an authority that makes her want to obey without question, though she can't fathom why. "That's not how legal service works, Mr. Blackstone. It's how I work." He extends his hand, palm up. "One dance, Miss Rodriguez. Surely your law firm can afford 5 minutes of your time for such an important client." Elena knows she should refuse, should just drop the papers at his feet and leave. But something about the way he looks at her, like she's the only person in a room full of hundreds, makes her hesitate. Around them, she can feel the stares of every woman present, their jealousy and confusion palpable, Why me? She asks before she can stop herself. You have supermodels and heiresses throwing themselves at you. Dominic's smile is enigmatic and predatory. Because among all these beautiful, perfect women, you're the only one who makes my wolf howl. Before Eleanor can process the strange comment, his hand closes over hers and the world tilts on its axis. The moment Dominic's hand touches hers, Elena feels like she's been struck by lightning. Heat races up her arm and spreads through her entire body, awakening nerve endings she didn't know existed. The ballroom around them seems to fade into soft focus, leaving only the two of them suspended in crystalline clarity. "What did you just say?" she manages to ask as he leads her onto the dance floor. "That you're different." His arm slides around her waist with confident possession, pulling her closer than proper ballroom etiquette dictates. "Tell me, Eleanor, you feel it too, don't you? This pull between us. She should deny it, should maintain professional distance, but the way her body molds perfectly against his makes lying impossible." "I don't know what you're talking about." "Liar." His breath whispers against her ear as they sway to the orchestra's haunting melody. "Your pulse is racing, your pupils are dilated, your scent, my scent." Eleanor pulls back to look at him. That's an odd thing to notice. Dominic's silver eyes flash with something wild and dangerous. "I notice everything about you. The way you bite your lower lip when you're nervous. How you unconsciously touch your grandmother's necklace when you're thinking. The fact that you're wearing drugstore perfume, but you smell like moonlight and jasmine underneath it." Elena's hand flies to the small silver pendant at her throat. Her grandmother's last gift before she died. "How could you possibly know about my grandmother?" Lucky guess. But his expression suggests otherwise. "Tell me about her." "Why are you asking me this? We don't know each other." Yet even as she protests, Elena finds herself answering. "She raised me after my parents died, told me stories about old families with strange gifts." Dominic's grip on her waist tightens imperceptibly. "What kind of stories?" "Fairy tales. Folklore about people who could change." Elena shakes her head. "I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you this. We should get back to business." "Forget business." His voice drops to a rough whisper. "Dance with me until the song ends. Let me pretend for just a few minutes that you're here for me, not legal papers." The vulnerability in his tone catches Elena off guard. Here's a man who commands boardrooms and builds empires, and he sounds almost lonely. "You could have any woman in this room," she points out. "Why would you want to pretend with me?" "Because they see dollar signs and social status. You see a man dodging legal papers." His laugh is self-deprecating. "You're the first woman in years to look at me like I'm not a prize to be won." As they turn slowly to the music, Elena becomes aware of the other dancers giving them a wide berth. The space around them seems to have expanded, as if an invisible force is keeping others at bay. "Dominic," she says his name for the first time, and she swears she hears him inhale sharply. "What aren't you telling me?" His silver eyes bore into hers with startling intensity. "Would you believe me if I said I've been waiting for you my entire life?" "That's impossible. We just met, did we?" He spins her gently, then pulls her back against his chest. "Haven't you been having the dreams, Elena? Running through moonlit forests, feeling wild and free and powerful, searching for someone you can't quite see, but know you'll recognize when you find him?" Elena's blood turns to ice. She has been having those dreams, vivid and recurring, for months. Dreams where she feels more alive than her waking hours ever allow. "How could you know about—" "Because I've been having them too." His confession stops her words. Dreams of a woman with dark hair and gold-flecked eyes, who smells like jasmine and moonlight. A woman who will change everything. The song ends, but neither of them stops moving. Around them, the ballroom continues its elegant dance. but Elena feels like she's standing at the edge of a cliff, about to step into empty air. "This is crazy," she whispers. "Yes," Dominic agrees, "but some kinds of crazy are worth exploring." He's right, and that terrifies her more than anything. Elena should leave. Every rational instinct screams at her to deliver the legal papers and walk away from whatever dangerous game Dominic Blackstone is playing. Instead, she finds herself accepting his invitation to step onto the private balcony, overlooking the city. The cool night air carries the scent of impending rain, but Elena barely notices. She's too focused on the way Dominic moves, fluid and predatory, like a man accustomed to hunting. When he turns to face her in the moonlight, his silver eyes seem to glow with inner fire. "The dream started 3 months ago," she says without preamble. "I thought they were just stress from law school." They weren't. Dominic steps closer, his presence both comforting and electrifying. "Elena, what I'm about to tell you will sound impossible, but I need you to listen with an open mind." "I'm listening." He takes a deep breath as if steeling himself. "I'm not entirely human. Neither, I suspect, are you." Elena laughs, the sound sharp and disbelieving. "Right. Next you'll tell me you're a werewolf or something equally ridiculous." The silence stretches between them, heavy with implication. "Oh God," she breathes. "You're serious. Deadly serious." Dominic's eyes begin to shift from silver blue to molten gold. "I'm the Alpha King of the largest werewolf pack on the East Coast, and you, Elena Rodriguez, are my mate." Elena stumbles backward until her spine hits the balcony railing. "That's impossible. Werewolves don't exist, don't they?" His voice carries a rougher quality now, as if something wild is pressing against his human facade. "Haven't you always felt different? Stronger than you should be? Faster reflexes? Senses that seem too sharp?" Her mouth goes dry because he's right. She has always been different. Able to hear conversations from across busy restaurants, smell rain hours before it arrives, see clearly in darkness that leaves others fumbling. She'd attributed it to good genetics, nothing more. "Even if I believed." "You?" she says carefully. "How could you possibly know I'm your mate? We just met." The recognition is instant and absolute. Dominic extends his hand, palm up, not moving closer, but clearly hoping she'll come to him. Every werewolf knows their mate by scent, by the way their wolf responds to their presence, by the pull that defies all logic. Elena stares at his outstretched hand, remembering the electric shock she felt when they first touched. The dreams? Our souls calling to each other before our human minds could accept the truth. His voice gentles. "Touch me again, Elena. Let yourself feel what your instincts are trying to tell you." Against every ounce of common sense, Elena places her hand in his. The connection is immediate and overwhelming, not just physical attraction, but something deeper, primal, like two halves of a broken whole, suddenly reuniting. "Oh!" she gasps as warmth floods her system. Her vision sharpens, sounds become clearer, and she swears she can smell the unique scent that is purely Dominic beneath. His expensive cologne. "You feel it," he says with satisfaction. "Your dormant wolf recognizing her alpha. This is insane." But even as she protests, Elena knows something fundamental has shifted inside her. The restless energy that has plagued her for months suddenly makes sense, as does her inexplicable attraction to this dangerous, powerful man. "What happens now?" she asks. Dominic's thumb traces across her knuckles, sending shivers up her arm. "Now you have a choice. Walk away, try to forget this conversation, and spend the rest of your life feeling like something essential is missing. Or stay, let me show you what you truly are, and claim your place as my Luna. Luna, alpha female, my equal, my partner, my queen." His silver gold eyes burn with intensity. "Among 1,000 women tonight, you're the only one I want, the only one I'll ever want." Elena looks out over the glittering city below, then back at this man who claims to hold her destiny in his hands. "Show me." she whispers. Dominic brings Elena to his private estate in the Hamptons, a sprawling compound hidden among ancient oak trees. As they drive through the wrought iron gates, Elena notices the unusual number of security guards, all tall, powerfully built men with alert, predatory gazes. "Your pack?" she asks. "Some of them?" Dominic's hands are steady on the steering wheel, but she can sense his tension. "Elena, what's about to happen will be intense. Your first transformation can be overwhelming." Transformation. Her stomach clenches with equal parts fear and anticipation. "You mean actually changing into a wolf?" "A werewolf." "We're larger than natural wolves, stronger, more intelligent." He parks in front of a massive stone mansion that looks like it belongs in the Scottish Highlands. "But first, you need to understand pack dynamics. As my mate, you'll automatically hold the second highest position in our hierarchy." Elena follows him through halls lined with ancestral portraits, their painted eyes seeming to track her movement. "I can barely wrap my head around werewolves existing, and now you want me to lead them." "You were born for this." Dominic stops before enormous French doors that lead to a moonlit garden. "Your grandmother, tell me her maiden name." "Silvermoon." "Why does that matter?" Dominic's sharp intake of breath makes her turn to face him. "Silvermoon is one of the oldest werewolf bloodlines in existence. Eleanor, you're not just any werewolf, you're royalty." The revelation hits her like a physical blow. "My grandmother never said anything about she probably hoped to protect you by keeping you ignorant." His expression grows grim. "The Silvermoons were nearly wiped out by rival packs decades ago. If she was hiding in the human world, it was for good reason." Outside, the full moon hangs heavy and silver in the star-studded sky. Elena feels something stirring in her chest, a restless energy that seems to respond to the lunar light. "I can feel it," she whispers. "Something's happening inside me. Your wolf is awakening." Dominic opens the French doors and cool night. Air washes over them. "Don't fight the change, Elena. Trust your instincts." They step onto a private terrace surrounded by wild gardens that stretch into dense forest. The moment moonlight touches Elena's skin, pain explodes through her body. Not the sharp agony of injury, but a deep, bone-deep restructuring that leaves her gasping. "Dominic!" she cries out, reaching for him. "I'm here." His strong arms support her as her body begins to shift. "Let it happen, beautiful. Don't resist." Elena feels her bones elongating, muscles reshaping, senses expanding exponentially. The world around her becomes a symphony of scents and sounds she never knew existed. When the transformation completes, she stands on 4 legs, her coat a lustrous silver that gleams in the moonlight. She looks up to see Dominic in his wolf form, a massive black beast with golden eyes that radiate power and protection. He's magnificent and terrifying, built for dominance and war. "You're perfect," his voice echoes in her mind through their mental link. Elena takes experimental steps, marveling at the power coiled in her new body. She feels more alive than ever before, connected to the earth, to the night, to the primal forces that govern the natural world. When she catches her reflection in the terrace windows, she gasps at her own beauty. She's sleek and strong, with intelligent silver eyes that hold both wildness and wisdom. "This is who I really am," she realizes. "Yes," Dominic agrees, padding closer. "This is your true nature. Royal blood, ancient power, destined to stand beside me as my equal." They run together through his private forest, Elena reveling in her speed and strength. Every sensation is heightened. The dew on grass, the whisper of wind through leaves, the steady rhythm of her mate's heartbeat synchronized with hers. When they finally shift back to human form, Elena collapses into Dominic's arms, overwhelmed. By the intensity of the experience. How did my grandmother bear hiding this? She asked breathlessly. Love makes us capable of incredible sacrifices, he replies. She loved you enough to give up her true nature to keep you safe. And now? Now, you reclaim your birthright. Elena's introduction to pack life comes abruptly 3 days later, when a convoy of black SUVs arrives at the estate. Through the mansion's windows, she watches dozens of werewolves emerge, men and women of various ages, all carrying themselves with the confident grace of natural predators. The Pack Council, Dominic explains, his jaw tense as he joins her at the window. Word has spread about my mate. They've come to assess your worthiness. Assess my worthiness. Elena turns to face him, indignation flaring in her chest. I thought... You said I was royalty. You are, but pack politics are complicated. His silver eyes flash with barely contained anger. There are those who've opposed my leadership, who see you as either a weakness to exploit or a threat to eliminate. Elena watches as the arrivals form organized groups on the estate's lawn. Even from a distance, she can sense the tension radiating. From them, some curious, some hostile, all dangerously powerful. Tell me about them, she demands. The woman in red is Victoria Cross, beta female of the Manhattan Pack. She's wanted to be my Luna for years. Dominic points to a stunning redhead who moves with lethal grace. The large man beside her is Marcus. Stone, my former second-in-command. He questions whether a newly awakened werewolf can handle Luna responsibilities. Elena studies the assembled wolves, her enhanced senses picking up undercurrents of resentment and challenge. And the others? Pack leaders from across the Eastern Territories. Some are allies, others... His expression darkens. Others have been waiting for any sign of weakness to challenge my authority. Before Eleanor can respond, the mansion's front doors open and the pack begins filing inside. The moment they enter, Eleanor feels the weight of dozens of predatory gazes assessing her every movement. Conversations halt as she appears, and the scent of aggression thickens the air. Alpha King, Victoria Cross approaches with a smile that doesn't reach her cold green eyes. So this is the little human who's captured your attention. Werewolf, Elena corrects firmly, allowing her own wolf to surface. Her eyes flash gold, and Victoria actually steps back. And soon to be your Luna, whether you like it or not. Spirited, Marcus Stone observes, circling them like a shark, scenting blood. But spirit without experience gets wolves killed. How do we know she won't endanger the pack through inexperience? Because she carries Silver Moon blood, Dominic states, his voice carrying absolute authority. Royal bloodlines don't require your approval, Marcus. Royal or not, she's untested, another pack leader interjects. Any wolf can claim Luna status through mating, but holding it requires proving your strength. Eleanor feels a familiar surge of determination, the same fire that got her through law school, despite overwhelming odds. What kind of proof do you require? The room goes silent. Even Dominic looks surprised by her boldness. Victoria's smile turns predatory. Combat trial. Traditional pack law allows any female to challenge a Luna's claim through single combat. Victoria, Dominic's voice drops to a dangerous growl. Elena has been awakened for less than a week. Which should make this quick, Victoria replies sweetly. Unless she's too frightened to defend her claim. Elena knows a trap when she hears one, but she also knows backing down now will undermine her position forever. When and where? Now. Outside. Victoria's eyes gleam with anticipation. First blood, or submission. Elena looks at Dominic, seeing worry and pride warring in his expression. Through their bond, she feels his desire to protect her battling against his respect for her autonomy. I have to do this, she says quietly. I know. His hand cups her. Face briefly. Trust your instincts. Your wolf knows how to fight, even if your human mind doesn't. As they move outside, Elena catches fragments of whispered conversations. The human won't last 30 seconds. Victoria's killed challengers before. This is why alphas shouldn't mate outside the pack. Elena blocks out the doubt and focuses on the silver moonlight streaming down. She's Elena Rodriguez, who clawed her way out of poverty through sheer determination. She's Elena Silver Moon, heir to royal werewolf bloodlines, and she's about to show them all exactly what that means. The pack forms a circle on the estate's main lawn, their eyes gleaming in the moonlight as Eleanor and Victoria face each other. In the center, Elena can smell the excitement and bloodlust radiating from the assembled wolves, some hoping to see her triumph, others eager to watch her fall. "Last chance to back down, little princess," Victoria taunts, already beginning to shift. Her red hair flows like liquid fire as her human form elongates and reshapes. Within moments, she stands as a massive russet wolf with cruel yellow eyes. Elena takes a deep breath, feeling her grandmother's silver pendant warm against her throat. As she shifts, she thinks of all the stories her grandmother told her about. Their family, tales of strength, honor, and wolves who never surrendered. Her transformation is swift and fluid, leaving her standing as a sleek silver wolf with eyes that burn like molten gold. She's smaller than Victoria, but every line of her body radiates controlled power and ancient breeding. Victoria attacks immediately, using her size advantage to try for a quick victory. She lunges for Eleanor's throat with killing intent, but Eleanor's royal reflexes prove faster than expected. She sidesteps at the last moment, raking her claws across Victoria's flank. First blood to Elena. The crowd erupts in surprised murmurs. Victoria recovers quickly, her yellow eyes now blazing with genuine fury rather than casual disdain. She circles Elena with renewed respect and increased aggression. "She underestimated you," Dominic's voice echoes through their mental link. "Don't let her do it again." The second attack comes from Elena's blind spot, Victoria using pack combat techniques that Elena's awakened wolf somehow recognizes. Ancient genetic memory guides Elena's response as she meets Victoria's charge head-on, the two wolves crashing together in an explosion of snarls and claws. They roll across the moonlit grass, each seeking dominance. Victoria has experience and training, but Elena has something more valuable, the desperate determination of someone fighting for her place in the world. Every time Victoria gains an advantage, Elena finds a way to slip free and counterattack. The tide turns when Victoria makes a critical error. Overconfident from years of pack superiority, she leaves herself open for a split second. Elena's royal breeding takes over, and she moves with a speed and precision that shocks even herself. Her jaws clamp down on Victoria's throat, not to kill, but to establish dominance. Victoria thrashes briefly before going still, recognizing the iron grip that could crush her windpipe in an instant. Elena holds the position for several heartbeats, letting every wolf present understand the message, then releases Victoria and steps back. The defeated wolf shifts back to human form, blood trickling from minor wounds, her expression stunned. "I submit," Victoria pants, bowing her head. "Luna." Elena shifts back to human form, standing tall despite the exhaustion creeping through her limbs. Her grandmother's necklace catches the moonlight, and for a moment she swears she can feel the spirit of every silver moon female who came before her. "Any other challenges?" she asks, her voice carrying clearly across the assembled pack. Silence greets her question. The hostility that filled the air earlier has transformed into something else: respect, fear, and grudging admiration. Marcus Stone steps forward, and Elena tenses for another confrontation. Instead, he drops to one knee. "Luna Elena," he says, formally. "The pack recognizes your claim. One by one, the other wolves follow suit. Even those who arrived as enemies bow to her newly proven authority." Elena feels the weight of leadership settling on her shoulders, heavier than she expected, but somehow right. Dominic moves to stand beside her, pride and love blazing in his silver eyes. "My Luna," he says, loud enough for all to hear. "My equal, my partner, my queen." Elena looks out over the bowed heads of her new pack family, then up at the full moon that witnessed her triumph. 3 weeks ago, she was a struggling law student. Tonight, she's the Luna of the most powerful werewolf pack. On the East Coast, rise, she commands, and her pack obeys. Her real challenges are just beginning. Elena's victory celebration is interrupted by the arrival of an uninvited guest. The pack's enhanced senses detect the intruder simultaneously, a scent that carries ancient malice and supernatural power that makes even the strongest wolves step back instinctively. "Vampire!" Dominic growls, his body tensing for battle as a figure emerges from the shadows at the forest's edge. The creature approaching them appears to be a man in his 30s, devastatingly handsome with pale skin and midnight black hair, but his beauty is cold and predatory, like a perfectly crafted weapon designed to lure victims into range. His red eyes scan the assembled pack with amused contempt. "Alpha King," the vampire's voice carries the weight of centuries. "How delightfully domestic. I see you found yourself a new pet." Elena feels rage flare in her chest at the dismissive tone, but Dominic's warning hand on her arm holds her back. The pack forms protective ranks around their leaders, but she can sense their fear. Whatever this creature is, he's powerful enough to make werewolves nervous. Lucian Ashworth. Dominic identifies their visitor with obvious disgust. "You're trespassing on packlands." "Am I?" Lucian's smile reveals elongated canines. "I come bearing interesting news about your new Luna's bloodline. Did you know the Silver Moons and my coven have quite the history?" Elena's blood turns cold. "What history?" "Your great-grandmother killed my sire," Lucian says conversationally, as if discussing the weather. "Took his head with a silver blade. During the New York Territory Wars of 1943. Such a messy business, supernatural politics." "That was 80 years ago," Elena replies, forcing steadiness into her voice. "Whatever grudge you're nursing died with your sire." Lucien's laughter is like breaking glass. "Oh, my dear child, you understand so little about our world. Vampire. Grudges last centuries, and debts passed down through bloodlines." His red eyes fix on her with predatory intensity. "Your great-grandmother's actions made every Silver Moon descendant fair game for revenge." Dominic moves protectively in front of Elena, his alpha power radiating outward in waves that make several pack members shift involuntarily. "Touch her, and I'll declare war on every vampire coven from here to the Pacific." Tempting, but unnecessary. Lucien examines his perfectly manicured nails with theatrical casualness. "I'm not here to kill her, Alpha King. I'm here to make her an offer." "What kind of offer?" Elena asks, though every instinct screams at her not to engage, "the kind that keeps your new pack family breathing." His smile turns vicious. "You see, young Luna, your mate has made many enemies during his rise to power. Rival packs, displaced alphas, supernatural factions who preferred the old chaos to his organized territories." Elena feels the pack's tension ratchet higher. Around them, loyal wolves prepare for battle, while their leaders face down an enemy none of them can match in single combat. "Get to the point, bloodsucker," Marcus snarls from somewhere behind them. "The point, dog, is that those enemies have found a common cause in destroying Dominic's happiness." Lucien's gaze flicks between Elena and Dominic. A coordinated strike against his new mate would accomplish what years of territory wars could not, breaking the Alpha King's spirit. "Let them try," Elena says with more confidence than she feels. "Oh, they will. But I'm prepared to offer protection for a price." Lucienne takes a step closer, and Elena swears the temperature drops 10 degrees. Serve me 1 year. Use your position as Luna to gather intelligence on werewolf pack movements, territorial disputes, internal conflicts. Feed that information to my coven, and I'll ensure your enemies meet unfortunate accidents before they can strike. Absolutely not. Dominic's refusal is immediate and absolute. I wasn't asking you, Alpha. Lucien's attention remains fixed on Elena. This is Luna's choice to make. Serve me, or watch everyone she cares about burn. Elena feels the weight of dozens of lives pressing down on her shoulders. The pack members looking to her for leadership, the mate whose love has awakened powers she's only begun to understand, the future they could build together if they survive long enough. How do I know you'll keep your word? She asks. Elena, Dominic's voice carries a note of betrayal, because vampires, unlike werewolves, honor our contracts absolutely, Lucienne replies smoothly. 1 year of service in exchange for eliminating threats to your pack. Think carefully, Luna. This offer expires with the sunrise. As if summoned by his words, the eastern horizon begins to lighten with the first hints of dawn. Elena stares at the lightening sky, feeling the weight of an impossible choice. Around her, the pack watches with bated breath as their newly crowned Luna faces her first major decision. The scent of their collective fear mingles with dawn's crisp air, creating a tapestry of desperation that tears at her heart. Elena, Dominic's voice is quiet but urgent. Don't even consider this. We can protect ourselves. Can we? She turns to face him, seeing the pain in his silver eyes at her apparent wavering. How many pack members will die while we try? How many families will be destroyed because of me? Lucienne watches their exchange with predatory satisfaction. Tick-tock, Luna. The sun waits for no one, not even royalty. Eleanor closes her eyes, feeling her grandmother's pendant pulse warm against her throat. In that moment of darkness, she hears an echo of her grandmother's voice. Sometimes the greatest strength is knowing when to bend without breaking. I accept, she says, opening her eyes to meet Lucienne's triumphant gaze. Elena, no! Dominic's anguish cuts through her like a physical wound. But, Elena continues, her voice growing stronger, I have conditions. Lucienne raises an elegant eyebrow. Conditions? You're hardly in a position to negotiate, aren't I? Elena allows her royal bloodline to surface, her presence suddenly commanding, despite her youth. I'm offering you intelligence from the most powerful werewolf pack in North America. That's worth certain assurances. The vampire considers her with newfound interest. Speak your terms. First, no harm comes to any Blackwood pack member, directly or indirectly, during our contract. Eleanor's voice carries the authority of generations of Silvermoon leaders. Second, you eliminate threats against my pack immediately, not after I provide intelligence. I want proof of protection before I offer cooperation. And third, Lucien asks, clearly entertained by her boldness. After 1 year, the debt is paid. In full. No extensions, no additional claims against Silvermoon bloodline. Eleanor steps closer, her gold-flecked eyes blazing. Agreed. Lucien studies her for a long moment, then extends his pale hand. Agreed. Shall we seal our contract in the traditional manner? Elena knows she's about to cross a line that can't be uncrossed, but the alternative is watching her pack family die in a war they can't win. She takes his cold hand, feeling ancient magic bind their agreement with chains stronger than steel. Pain explodes through her palm as Lucien's elongated nail opens a thin cut. Her blood, rich with royal werewolf heritage, mingles with his vampiric essence as the supernatural contract takes hold. Power flows between them, sealing her fate for the next year. It is done, Lucien declares with satisfaction. I'll be in touch soon, Luna. Don't disappoint me. He vanishes into the fading shadows as the sun finally crests the horizon, leaving Eleanor staring at her bleeding palm while the pack erupts into chaos around her. How could you? Dominic's voice is raw with betrayal. How could you make a deal with that monster? To protect you, Elena says simply. To protect all of you. By betraying us to our enemies? Marcus's accusation hits like a physical blow. I'm not betraying anyone. Eleanor snaps back, exhaustion and stress making her temper flare. I'm buying us time to find another solution. With vampire strings attached, Victoria adds, her earlier respect replaced by suspicion. You've just made our Luna into their puppet. Eleanor watches as doubt spreads through her pack like wildfire. The wolves who bowed to her authority an hour ago now look at her with uncertainty and fear. Only Dominic remains close, though the anguish in his silver eyes cuts deeper than any physical wound. I did what I had to do, Elena says firmly, and I'll live with the consequences. We'll all live with the consequences, Dominic replies quietly, or die with them. As the pack disperses in uncomfortable silence, Elena remains on the lawn, staring at her blood-stained palm and wondering if she's just saved her family or destroyed them all. The contract burns like ice in her veins, a constant reminder that her choices now belong to someone else. 3 weeks into her contract with Lucian, Elena discovers the true price of her devil's bargain. The vampire's demands start small: pack patrol schedules, territory boundaries, the names of allied alphas, information that seems harmless enough, until Elena realizes how it's being used. The first attack comes at dawn on a Tuesday. Elena wakes to emergency howls echoing across the estate grounds, her enhanced senses immediately picking up the sense of blood, fear, and unfamiliar werewolves. She races downstairs to find Dominic coordinating a defensive response in his study. Digital maps covered with red pins marking enemy positions. "Report!" Elena demands, her lunar authority cutting through the chaos. The Albany pack hit 3 of our border checkpoints simultaneously, Marcus reports grimly. They knew exactly where to strike for maximum damage with minimum resistance. Elena's blood turns cold. She provided Lucian with those patrol schedules just 5 days ago, along with detailed maps of their territory's weak points. Casualties? 7 wounded, 2 in critical condition, Dr. Sarah Chen reports via radio. They're using silver bullets and weapons specifically designed to cause maximum trauma to werewolves. Elena feels the supernatural contract binding her titan-like chains around her chest. She can't warn them about the source of the intelligence leak without violating her agreement with Lucian. But watching her pack suffer because of her choices is agony. We need to evacuate the families, Dominic decides. Move non-combatants into the secure compound upstate. That compound's location is classified, Victoria points out. How did you know about... Her suspicious gaze lands on Eleanor, and understanding dawns in her green eyes. You think I'm the leak? Eleanor asks, though guilt churns in her stomach. The timing is convenient, Victoria replies coldly. 3 weeks of escalating attacks, perfectly coordinated strikes against our most vulnerable positions. Either we have a traitor or your vampire friend is better informed than we thought. Eleanor can't deny the accusation without revealing the truth, so she remains silent while suspicion spreads through the room like poison. She catches Dominic watching her with pain and growing doubt, their bond strained by secrets she can't share. The second wave of attacks begins at sunset. This time, the enemy forces target the estate directly, using inside knowledge to bypass outer defenses and strike at the mansion itself. Elena fights alongside her pack, her royal bloodline giving her strength and speed that surprises even veteran warriors. But as she battles enemy wolves in the mansion's grand hallway, she overhears fragments of their communication that freeze her blood. Luna's in the East Wing, just like he said. Take her alive if possible, but don't risk casualties. The vampire's paying extra for proof of death. Elena realizes with horror that Lucien hasn't been protecting her pack. He's been setting them up for destruction while positioning himself to claim the ultimate prize. Her death would eliminate Dominic's greatest source of strength and leave the Alpha King vulnerable to challenges from every ambitious rival. The contract that was supposed to save her pack has made her their greatest liability. "Dominic!" she calls out as enemy wolves surround her position. "It's a trap! They're not here for territory, they're here for me!" Understanding blazes across his features as he cuts through enemy lines to reach her. "The vampire played you," he growls, standing back to back with her as hostile werewolves circle them. "I know," Elena admits, feeling the weight of her failure crushing down on her. "I'm sorry. I thought I was protecting everyone, but I made everything worse." "We'll discuss your questionable judgment later," Dominic replies, his claws extending, as he prepares for battle. "Right now we fight," Elena nods, allowing her wolf to surge to the surface. Her eyes blaze gold as royal power flows through her veins, and for the first time since making her deal with Lucien, she feels truly free. If she's going to die tonight, at least she'll die fighting beside the man she loves. The enemy wolves attack as one, and Elena discovers what it truly means to be a silver moon. The battle rages through the night as Elena and Dominic fight side by side against overwhelming odds. Enemy werewolves pour through the mansion in coordinated waves, their silver weapons glinting in the moonlight, streaming through shattered windows. Elena moves with deadly grace, her royal bloodline awakening combat instincts she never knew she possessed. But as dawn approaches, exhaustion takes its toll. The pack's defenders are being systematically overwhelmed by enemies who know their every weakness, every escape route, every defensive position. Elena realizes with crystal clarity that her deal with Lucien has doomed everyone she loves. "There are too many," Marcus pants, blood streaming from claw marks across his chest. "We need to retreat." "No retreat," Elena declares, and something fundamental shifts in her voice. The lunar authority she's been hesitant to fully embrace suddenly blazes forth with royal command. "This ends now." She steps into the mansion's main hall, her presence instantly drawing the attention of every combatant. The fighting slows as wolves on both sides sense the change in her. No longer the uncertain law student or conflicted Luna, but something ancient and powerful awakening. "I challenge the leader of this attack to single combat," she announces, her voice carrying clearly through the destruction. "Winner takes all, victory or death." A massive grey wolf emerges from the enemy ranks, shifting to reveal Alpha Cain, Morrison of the Albany Pack. He's a scarred veteran of territorial wars, built like a mountain with cold blue eyes that hold decades of killing experience. "Little princess wants to play hero," Cain sneers. "I'll make this quick." "Elena, no." Dominic moves to intercept, but she stops him with a look that carries absolute authority. "This is Luna's business," she says firmly. "Trust me." The words echo with deeper meaning through their bond, and after a moment of agonized hesitation, Dominic steps back. Around them, both packs form a circle, sensing they're about to witness something that will change everything. Elena shifts into her silver wolf form, but this time, something's different. The moonlight seems to flow into her coat, making her glow. Within a radiance, her eyes burn like twin stars, and when she moves, shadows bend around her as if reality itself acknowledges her royal heritage. Cain attacks with brutal efficiency, using his size and experience to try for a quick kill. But Elena doesn't fight like the inexperienced Luna he expects. She moves like her ancestors, queens and warriors who ruled supernatural territories when humans still cowered around fires. The battle is swift and decisive. Elena flows around. Cain's attacks like liquid silver, each movement precise and deadly. When she finds her opening, her strike is absolute, jaws clamping around his throat with enough force to crush stone. "Yield," she growls through their mental connection, and her voice carries the weight of royal command that goes beyond mere physical dominance. Kane's struggles cease as something deeper than survival instinct recognizes her authority. "I yield," he gasps. "Luna!" Elena releases him and shifts back to human form, standing tall despite her exhaustion. Around the hall, enemy wolves drop to their knees in submission, their planned attack crumbling before the undeniable presence of supernatural royalty. "The contract is broken," Elena announces, and she's not speaking to the defeated wolves. Her words carry on supernatural winds to wherever Lucien waits. "I am Luna Elena Silvermoon Blackstone, and I reject any claim on my service or my bloodline." Power erupts from her like silver fire as she tears through Lucian's binding with pure will. The vampire's contract, woven from centuries of dark magic, shatters against the awakened authority of a true moonwalker queen. Dominic moves to her side, pride and love blazing in his silver eyes. "My Luna," he says, loud enough for all to hear. "My equal, my partner, my queen." Elena looks out over the bowed heads of former enemies now sworn to her service, then at her mate whose faith never wavered despite her mistakes. "Among 1,000 women, you chose me," she says softly, "but I choose us, our pack, our future, our love that's stronger than any enemy's schemes." As the sun rises over their victory, Elena finally understands what it truly means to be Luna. Not just Dominic's mate or the pack's leader, but the bridge between what werewolves were and what they could become. She was born for this moment, this choice, this destiny, and she's just getting started. Don't forget to subscribe to Alpha Desire for more supernatural romance stories that will leave you breathless. What paranormal love story should we explore next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below and let us know which Alpha King stole your heart.